Ladies, gentlemen, they thought they were clever, didn't they? Thought they could toss you aside, slam the door in your face, and find someone better on the other side. What a joke. You see, people like you don't come around twice. People with a heart so rare it glows in the dark, a soul so deep it could swallow their petty little egos whole. They thought they could break you, break the brilliance that lives inside you. They didn't realize the strength that runs through your veins, the fire that burns in your chest, the quiet storm in your eyes that they never bothered to truly see. They didn't know that they were dealing with someone who cannot be replicated, someone whose existence holds value beyond their comprehension. They thought they were in control, didn't they? But now, here you stand, no longer part of their game. Oh, how the tables have turned. They believed they could outplay you. They believed they could make you feel small, make you doubt yourself, make you think you were expendable. They thought their world could function without you in it, that they could walk away and find something better. But they were wrong. And oh, how they'll come to understand the weight of that mistake. You see, they failed to see the truth that runs through your veins like the pulse of the universe. You're not replaceable. Not in this lifetime, not in any other. Souls like yours? They are one in a million. And if they couldn't see that, if they couldn't appreciate what they had in you while they had you, then they have lost something irreplaceable, something that can never be recovered. You are not some fleeting moment, some passing fancy that they could simply toss away when it no longer suited their needs. You are a force. You are a tidal wave of energy, of potential, of power. You are the kind of person who walks into a room and changes everything, even when you don't say a word. You don't have to scream for attention or beg for recognition. Your presence is felt. Your absence is noticed. They thought they could play their games, didn't they? But now, as the dust settles and they look around, they realize something terrible. They have lost the very thing they thought they could replace. You. What they never understood is that they were never in control. They never held the reins to your life. Your destiny was never in their hands. It was always in yours. They thought they could use you, manipulate you, maybe even take you for granted. They thought you would always be there, willing to bend, willing to break, willing to stay. But now they will learn. They will learn that some things are not for them to control, not for them to possess. They will learn that there are people who don't need them. There are people who walk away, and when they do, they never look back. In their ignorance, they fail to see the beauty that lies within you, the kind of beauty that isn't skin deep, but cuts through every layer of your being. They didn't realize that the way you love, the way you give, the way you live was something so rare, so pure, that to squander it would be an act of unimaginable foolishness. But they did it anyway. They thought they could replace you with someone who would bend to their whims, someone who would stay in their corner no matter how badly they treated them. But they didn't realize that not everyone is willing to tolerate disrespect. Not everyone is willing to tolerate being overlooked, dismissed, or discarded. And now, they're left with nothing but their own regret. Nothing but the ghost of a person who once stood by their side. And nothing but the echo of a soul they could never replace. They may have thought they had won, but victory has a price, doesn't it? The price is always higher than they expect, always steeper than they could have imagined. They thought they could break you, but it was they who shattered. It was they who crumbled beneath the weight of their own arrogance. They thought they could move on without you. But how does one move on from something so irreplaceable, so valuable, so rare? As you walk away, leaving their world behind, they will find themselves looking over their shoulder. wondering what they could have done differently. But it will be too late, because once you are gone, you don't return. Once someone like you is lost, they can't be found again. They'll realize that the door they slammed in your face was the one they needed to leave open. They'll realize that the person they pushed away was the one who could have helped them find their way. But it's too late. You are gone. And in your absence, they will feel the weight of their mistake. They will feel it in the silence, in the emptiness, in the coldness that fills the spaces where your warmth used to be. You were never their second choice. You were never an option for them to toy with. You were the one thing in their life that could have made it whole, that could have made it meaningful. And now, they will spend the rest of their days trying to figure out what went wrong, trying to piece together the broken fragments of a relationship they took for granted. But they will never find the answer, because the answer is simple. They lost you. And no matter how hard they try to move on, no matter how hard they try to convince themselves they made the right choice, they will always know deep down that the moment they let you go was the moment they lost everything that mattered. They thought they could replace you with something cheaper, something easier. They thought they could trade your depth for a shadow, your warmth for a flicker. But they were wrong, because you don't replace greatness with mediocrity. You don't replace something rare with something ordinary. And when they realize this, when they finally see the truth, it will be too late. You will be gone, and they will be left to pick up the pieces of a life that once had meaning, but now feels hollow, empty, and devoid of purpose. You see, people like you don't just come and go. You are not some fleeting moment to be enjoyed and then forgotten. You are a force of nature, a storm that shakes the earth and leaves a mark that can never be erased. You are the kind of person who leaves a legacy, whether people acknowledge it or not. And those who were lucky enough to have you in their life will always remember you. They will remember the way you made them feel, the way you cared for them, the way you loved them. They will remember how you changed their world in ways they will never fully understand. And when they realize they let you slip away, they will regret it for the rest of their days. But you won't regret a thing. You won't look back, because you know that your worth was never determined by them. You know that you are valuable, you are rare, you are irreplaceable, and no one can take that from you. No one can diminish the light that burns inside of you. They thought they could break you. They thought they could leave you in the dark. But they didn't realize that even when they turned out the lights, you would still shine. They thought they were clever, didn't they? But the only thing they proved was that they were fools. And now, as they search for something to fill the void you left behind, they will never find it. Because souls like yours, they don't appear twice. It was them who lost. They believed their actions, their shallow assessments, their games of power could go unnoticed. But the truth has a way of revealing itself, doesn't it? They believed they could walk away from something so rare, so irreplaceable. They thought they could continue on with their lives, as if the hole they carved out in your absence wouldn't echo in their chest, as if the space they left would easily be filled with something or someone else. But they're wrong. It doesn't work that way. What they didn't realize is that when you lose something like you, it is not a loss that can be quantified or replaced by another. No matter how hard they try to convince themselves that the void can be filled, no one else can fill it. No one else can be you. And in their blindness, in their arrogant dismissal of everything you gave, they sealed their fate. You were never just a piece of their puzzle to discard when it no longer fit. You were the foundation of everything that was once good, that was once real. You were the heart. And when you walked away, they didn't just lose a person, they lost their heart. They lost the part of them that could have helped them grow, the part of them that could have made them better, the part that would have held them up when everything else was falling apart. But let me be clear, this loss is not something they can ever get back. Not from someone else, not from anyone. The hole they've created is one that can never be filled because it was your presence that gave their life meaning. It was your kindness that soothed their weary soul. It was your love that made them feel alive, that made their world bright, that gave them the courage to face the day. And now they'll wake up every morning in the cold realization that the warmth they once took for granted is gone. They might search for it in other faces, in other places, in other people, but they won't find it. That kind of warmth, that kind of love, that kind of loyalty doesn't just come from anywhere. It's rare. And people like you, those who give from a heart that knows no bounds, those who love with the strength of 1,000 storms, those who believe in the goodness of others even when the world is dark, people like you don't come around twice. You see, you were always a risk to them, a risk they didn't want to take, or rather, a risk they thought they could manage. They believed they could walk away from you and still come out on top. They thought they could take your presence for granted, thinking you would always be there, that you would always bend to their whims, that they could play their games, push you to your limits, and you would never leave. But they misjudged you. They failed to see that while your heart is vast and capable of so much love, it is not a place that will remain open to those who do not appreciate its worth. They didn't realize how strong you were. They didn't see the depth of your resilience. They didn't understand that you would never stay in a place where you were undervalued. And as they sit now, wondering what went wrong, they will only find themselves sinking deeper into regret. But regret doesn't fix things, does it? Regret doesn't bring back the one who was willing to fight for them, who was willing to stand by them even when the odds were stacked against them. Regret doesn't heal the wound of loss, especially when that loss was self-inflicted. The truth is that they will always be searching for something they can never find again. They will waste their time trying to replace you with someone who will never hold the same light, someone who will never possess the same qualities that made you unique. And even as they try, they'll know deep down that they've failed. They'll know that no matter how hard they try to replicate what they once had with you, it will never be the same. There are people who come into your life, change it, mold it, and make it brighter simply by their presence. And then there are those who come in, take, and walk away, leaving nothing but emptiness behind. But the truth is that you were never meant to be the latter. You were never meant to be someone's convenience, someone's stepping stone, someone's afterthought. You were meant for more. You were meant to be valued, to be respected, to be loved in a way that was rare, that was deep, that was everlasting. But they couldn't see it. They couldn't recognize the treasure they had in front of them, and now it's too late. What they will eventually understand is this: they were never in control. No matter how much they thought they had the upper hand, no matter how much they thought they could call the shots, you were always the one in control. You were the one who gave, and you were the one who chose to leave. They thought you would stay, that you would always be there to pick up the pieces when they broke them, to stay silent when they ignored you, to forgive when they failed you. But the truth is that they never understood the value of your forgiveness. They never understood the power of your silence, and now they'll never understand the magnitude of your absence. They will sit in the emptiness they've created, and they will look around, desperately trying to find something to fill the space. They will search for someone to replace you, but they will find nothing. Because what you gave them was not something that could be found in the superficial, in the fleeting, in the shallow waters of their desires. You were depth. You were substance. You were a love that could not be faked, a loyalty that could not be imitated. And now they will try to pretend it wasn't important. They will tell themselves it didn't matter. But the truth will always remain, buried deep inside them. They lost you, and nothing they ever do will bring you back. They might try to convince themselves that they made the right choice, that they were justified in their actions. But deep down, they will know the truth. They will know that they lost something invaluable. They will know that they threw away the best thing they ever had. And as time goes on, the pain will settle in. The regrets will pile up, one on top of the other, until they are buried in a mountain of sorrow. And no matter how much they try to dig their way out, they will never be able to escape it. The weight of their mistake will follow them wherever they go, a shadow they cannot outrun. But you will rise, you will soar, because you are not defined by their actions. You are not defined by their mistakes. You are not defined by their inability to see your worth. You know who you are. You know what you bring to the world. You know that you are rare, that you are valuable, that you are irreplaceable. And no one, no matter how hard they try, can take that away from you. You are free. Free from the chains of their neglect. Free from the weight of their disrespect. You are free to live your life, to chase your dreams, to find your true worth in a world that will appreciate everything you have to offer. They will try to move on, but they won't ever truly move forward. They will be stuck in the past, haunted by the ghost of what they could have had, the ghost of what they once had, the ghost of the person who loved them so fiercely, who believed in them so fully, who would have done anything for them. And in the quiet moments, when they are alone with their thoughts, they will hear your voice in the back of their mind. They will see your face in their dreams, and they will realize, too late, that they were the ones who lost. And when they finally understand what they've lost, they will know that it was never about them. It was never about their games or their ego or their need for control. It was about you, and they were too blind to see the truth when they had you. But now, they are left with nothing but the realization that they can never replace what they threw away. It was them who lost. They lost someone who will never come around twice, someone whose light will never dim, someone whose soul will never fade. And while they may try to move on, they will never forget the one thing they can never replace: you. They can never replace you. You were never just another face in the crowd, never just another passing moment. You were the essence of everything they needed, everything they sought in the deepest corners of their heart, though they couldn't see it. You were the one person who could have changed the course of their life, the one person who could have stood by them in their darkest hours, the one person who could have lifted them higher than they ever thought possible. You were the anchor they never realized they needed until it was too late. But they couldn't see that, could they? They were too busy looking for something better, something different, something they thought would fill the gaps you left behind. They didn't understand that there's no substitute for someone like you. There's no alternative that can fill the space you created with your presence. The love, the loyalty, the devotion, the care. You gave everything of yourself without hesitation, without question, without expecting anything in return. You gave them a piece of your soul, a piece that they were too blind to appreciate. And now, as they search for someone to fill that void, they will find nothing but emptiness, a hollow echo of the connection they once had with you. You were not just a person to them. You were a lifeline. You were the one thing in their life that was real, that was constant, that was steady. You were the warmth in the cold, the light in the dark, the hope in the hopelessness. But they took you for granted. They thought they could treat you as an afterthought, as a second choice, as something that could be discarded when it no longer suited their needs. They never understood that you were the one thing in their life that mattered most, the one thing that they could never replace. And now they'll try, won't they? They'll try to find someone who looks like you, talks like you, acts like you. They'll try to fill the void you left behind with someone who mimics your actions, who mirrors your words, but it will never work. No matter how hard they try, no one will ever be able to match the uniqueness that was you. They will never find someone who loves with the same depth, with the same intensity, with the same understanding. They will never find someone who looks at them with the same eyes that saw through the walls they built around themselves, eyes that saw them for who they truly were, without judgment, without hesitation, without fear. They will never find someone who gives as freely as you did, someone who believed in them even when they couldn't believe in themselves. They will never find someone who stood by them when everyone else walked away, someone who believed in the beauty of their soul when they couldn't see it themselves. They will never find someone who would have gone to the ends of the earth to make sure they were happy, to make sure they were safe, to make sure they felt loved. You gave everything. And yet, they didn't understand that it wasn't about what you gave. It was about who you were. They never understood that love isn't something you can just find. It's not something you can search for in someone else. You can't just pick it up and place it in your hands when you want it. Love is earned, it's built, it's nurtured, and it's treasured. But they never learned that lesson, did they? They never learned to value what they had until it was gone. And now, they'll be left with nothing but the bitter taste of regret. Nothing but the echo of your love that will never truly leave them. Even though you are no longer there, they can never replace you, and they will spend the rest of their lives trying to do so, searching in vain, hoping that maybe, just maybe, someone else will come along who can fill the hole you left behind. But they will never find it, not because they're not worthy of love, but because no one else will ever be able to offer the same depth of connection, the same unwavering commitment, the same genuine care that you gave so freely. No one will ever be able to love them with the same purity, the same loyalty, the same intensity. And while they're out there trying to convince themselves that they can replace you, you'll be living your life. You'll be moving forward, thriving, growing, becoming the best version of yourself. You'll be surrounded by people who appreciate you for who you are, who value the love and light you bring into their lives. You'll be finding your own peace, your own joy, your own strength, and they will be left behind, wondering how they let someone so irreplaceable slip through their fingers. But here's the truth. It wasn't just their loss. It was theirs, and it was yours too. It was a loss that has to be faced, a loss that has to be dealt with, a loss that will leave a mark, but it's one that you will rise above. Because the truth is, you were never meant to stay in a place where you were not valued. You were never meant to remain in a situation that didn't honor your worth. You were never meant to give all of yourself to someone who couldn't see the value in it. They can never replace you. You were the heart of everything they thought they needed. You were the soul that made everything come alive. And now they will be left searching for something that doesn't exist. They will never find someone who can make them feel the way you did. They will never find someone who can lift them up in the same way, who can love them with the same fierce passion, who can hold them in the same tender embrace. You were the one who made them believe in love, who made them believe in themselves, who made them believe that anything was possible. And now, they'll be stuck with the cold, empty remnants of what once was. And you'll be free. Free to be who you truly are. Free to embrace the beauty of your soul, the strength of your heart, and the power of your mind. You will find people who see you for what you truly are, a rare, beautiful, and irreplaceable force. You will find people who value you, who honor you, who treat you with the respect you deserve. And they'll be stuck in the past, trapped in a world of what-ifs, lost in the hollow shell of a life they tried to rebuild without you. They can never replace you. And the worst part is, they know it. Deep down, they know it. But they can't admit it. They can't admit that they lost the one person who could have made everything right. They can't admit that they took you for granted, that they let you slip away, that they never truly saw the treasure they had in their hands. And as time passes, they will learn to live with that knowledge. They will carry it with them, buried deep inside, a wound that will never heal. They will search for something, someone, to fill the void, but they'll never find it. They'll never find someone who loves the way you loved, who gives the way you gave, who sees them the way you saw them. And when they look back, they'll wonder how they could have been so blind, how they could have let the one person who truly cared slip away, how they could have let someone who would have stood by them through everything, someone who would have given them everything, walk out the door without a second thought. But it's too late. You're gone, and they'll never find anyone who can replace you. You were never meant to be replaced. You were never meant to be just another part of their life that could be easily swapped out. You were meant to be cherished, to be honored, to be loved deeply and without reservation. And while they failed to see that, while they failed to understand what they had, you will rise, you will shine, and you will move forward into a life that is rich with the love and respect you deserve. So let them search, let them try, let them waste their time and energy chasing something that doesn't exist. Because the truth is, you are irreplaceable. You are one of a kind. And no matter how hard they try, they will never, ever be able to find anyone like you. And that, my friends, is something they will have to live with for the rest of their lives. You were the heart, and without you, they are nothing. They can never replace you. And for that, they will never escape the loss they created. You will continue to thrive. You will continue to rise. And in the end, that will be the final victory, because they will never replace you, and you will never need them again.